something. I've got the urge and it won't stop. No time for breakfast, just my coffee and an English muffin. They open doors at 10 o'clock. Yeah. I said I wouldn't go back, but I'm driving. Just take it back if you don't like it. Keep telling myself this is it, but I'm lying. Who cares about that? I love my
Let's be honest. If black folks are going to get reparations, then they're going to need a 4-star general's approach to it. It will have to be approached in an organized, sustained, military-like way. A flamethrower of a man will have to be the keynote speaker concerning reparations. Brother Malcolm would have been the perfect man to go into the United Nations to pressure the power structure to give us reparations. But he's no longer with us, and his brothers who helped stop him haven't picked up the tab. They weren't serious. If reparations is going to be addressed, then a serious individual like this brother named Taalik Ibn'rad should be sent to the UN to speak before the General Assembly. Taalik has the qualifications to be taken serious. He's been consistent in his seriousness. He's a man that's not going to go into the UN and bite his tongue. He's going to express how he really feels. He won't modify his delivery. He won't flip the script, buck, bow, smile, and beguile. He'll let the power structure know how black people really feel and why they need restoration for the mental and spiritual destruction done to all of us. Go get him. Wake him up in the middle of the night and bring him to New York. He'll come in a clean but wrinkled undershirt with a loose-fitting collar. He might come in a robe, maybe in a suit. He might drive a truck to the UN. But you can rest assured, Taalik will be coming as himself. And once the world hears him, the fight for what black folks need will be over. It doesn't matter if Taalik is the opening or the keynote speaker. All you have to do is hear him, and you'll be hooked. What? Meet you at the old Autobahn so we can rally up and organize the people? Haven't you heard that place is always closed? The old ones in the power structure vowed that they would never again give the people that kind of space to assemble. They are scared of Malcolm's ghost now returning to the crime scene. That's why that place is always closed. This is Dusty Basement Studios, and we approve of this message.
But let me preface my point with this story of Jeanette Salters, who renamed herself Mama Lena Diop, and her sister who named herself Nzinga Jana. They inherited some land, acquired the land in Ghana, and was murdered by the locals. Why? Because they were Americans. A few of the natives didn't feel it was right that foreigners had a right to that land. So, To go back to Africa Negro.
Hey, Uma! Not to be popular. It's just I'm inspired by my brother, that reality Temple's brother, the most powerful voice on the internet, that reality Angel Snubbing Up 7. That's right, brother. I'm calling you out, brother. I'm building you. I'm putting you out there, brother. I'm shouting you out. That's my inspiration.
Dragon Manifest. Welcome to the Reality Tip on Earth, Dragon Manifest.
Thank you for having me, brother. This is an honor. I've been watching you for at least a couple years now.
Yes, sir.
From the first time I got hip to your channel, I've been hooked ever since. I'm always looking out for new videos. I mean, when I first saw your channel, I said, "Oh, this is an ancestor that has most definitely returned."
Yes,
most definitely. This is not a new ancestor. This is an old ancestor. You could hear, you could feel the ancestors through you.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind.
Peace, prayer, and knowledge. I'm Soul Sister J. I'm Soul Sister D. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the people who helped to the medical fundraiser for my uncle Taalik. And it has meant so much to us that you would help, because without you guys, his life would not be possible and we would not be with him today right now. And I just wanted to say, for all of you that helped and that donated, I would really like to give a big thanks, and I hope that I can meet you one day and say thank you in person. I love you guys, and next. Okay.
I ordered this book, God is on Trial. I ordered this book from Amazon, and I must say I've read it. It's very well written, very thought-provoking.
becomes the first of the divas to offer the world her singular sound. And she does just that on Southern Gal.
Gomane. Assemble the people, Gomane. We will not be defeated by witch doctors' illusions. Gomane. Assemble the people, Gomane. We will not be defeated by witch doctors' illusions.
By Brother Angel Snub 7 at the Realities Temple. And to give props to him, because I listened to all of Angel Snub 7's videos. I think that he comes from a different angle, and there's a powerful message in a lot of the videos that he put out, and I try to catch all of them. I look at him as a free thinker and a person that's willing to challenge those of which he don't agree with or which he may think differently from, and I really respect him for that. He's challenged KNBS, and he has also challenged the black supremacy movement as well. And I have nothing against that, because that which cannot be challenged cannot stand and will not stand and will not survive the test of time. How many challenges we can withstand will determine how long we will be able to stand.
Set in Philadelphia, follow Camille Ebony as she discovers the woman she was meant to be in the blink of an eye, seemingly when her marriage, career, and life are rearranged, when a cool stranger enters the mix. She realizes for the first time in her life that she is able to throw caution to the wind and just be herself without any label or duties attached. All things must come to an end, though, and once again Camille finds herself taking on the requirements now of wife and mother. But when she is called upon to do one more favor, the journey to the heart of the matter continues, and she comes face to face with the realities of the girl she once was, the person she has wanted to be, and the woman she is. On the road to self-discovery, Camille soon realizes there must be some casualties.
Hey, my brother, you know I had to call you and thank you personally again. I cannot describe to you how happy I was to meet you in person finally. That was just like amazing.
And that is Brother Taalik from the Reality Temples on Earth channel. And if you get a chance to subscribe, please do subscribe to his channel. He's a good brother. You know, he's doing good work, and he wants to do good constructive things. He has good information to provide. So please do check out his channel if you get a chance.
And just then the gunfire went off.
Malcolm's death never sat right with me.
The investigation was a failure.
Asking who's guilty is a dangerous question to ask.
What is the real story?
It's in the history book. Leave it there. Leave it alone.
Elijah Muhammad told everybody, do not raise a hand against Malcolm X.
He didn't have to give the order. Someone would take care of it.
The FBI should have known.
Why doesn't someone want to get to the bottom of this?
They never had any intentions of seriously investigating that assassination.
That is my mission. I'm not going to stop until I get justice. Because the official count of who killed Malcolm X, it's not true.
This all-new 5-DVD, 9-hour documentary is a researcher's dream come true. Oh my God. It's an educational masterpiece.
My name is Myron. They call me SNIFFY. My name Myron Johnson. They call me SNIFFY. They call me SNIFFY. My cousin is Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm here to give y'all a message. Y'all better leave my cousin alone. That's what y'all better do. My cousin Umar doing good work for y'all. Y'all some stupid ass niggas, man. And y'all ain't giving the man no money.
I'm not really worried about convincing you about what I believe in. My main concern is to find people with the like-minded minds, like Minister, the Realist temple, the Reality's temple on earth. I can relate with that guy. I can say he's talking sense because he has intelligence and he doesn't come up with rubbish. He comes up with well thought conversations. He's thought about this. He's still thinking about it right now as we speak about it. And after that he'll be thinking about it because he's a thinker. He's not just a doer taking information and repeating it. He's a thinker. He's been intrigued. His mind's been intrigued by reality, by things on earth that have woken him up. So enough respect to him. One of the greatest minds on YouTube who ain't got no establishment. I don't think. I don't know what he has or what he does, but the greatest minds sometimes don't have much, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't have much. I barely just got this in my head and a few things, no responsibilities though. So it's just about communicating this video. It's tricky. It's tricky. The minds of others have been living a way which is backwards or wrong from they could walk. And they got good at being backwards and wrong and believing that backwards and wrongness. So when you talk about rightfulness and forwardness, they think it is nonsense because they've never worked on those lines. So, yeah, that came out alright. Usually it depends with communicating. It's a battle, so either you win and you do it well and it comes out perfect, or it's like you're just clashing with swords and you're not really getting what's in your head out to the world to understand. But where's that drink? Big up to the ministry, the minister, whatever his name is, Angel Nut 7. Yeah, I really enjoyed your videos, man. They're a bit long though.
I keep it real.
What, dear?
Because I keeps it real like that. I keeps it real.
And also, to my right, y'all know it. It's too late. We together now. It is too late now. Y'all, it's almost a done deal for you. I know some of y'all might get upset. Say, no, them two niggas can't get together. Oh, no, Lord Jesus Christ. Y'all that don't believe in God, you're probably screaming for God now. This is the real man of steel, Brother Harvey Superboy. There we go. All right. Yeah. And, come on in here. And my assistant minister, Andre, he know he needs to sit in here before that. And brother, my assistant minister, there you go. This room is sort of crowded. Y'all have to forgive us a little bit, but pay attention. We got a lot of information for you. And we hope that this hour, maybe perhaps hour and a half, becomes very informative. And what is more important is that y'all see this power and this strength here. And when you hear these voices, brothers, these voices, these brothers talk, oh man. Woo! So, you know, if you're looking at this on video, which chances are you are, because, I mean, we live. I'm going to have to put this down on YouTube or Daily Motion somewhere. You know, before you get started, get your popcorn, soda, whatever, or your beer. You know, some of y'all do that like that. And then we're going to have a nice conversation here. We're not going to be talking about chasing women. We're not going to be talking about getting the hit off the old weed. We're going to be talking about those issues which pertain to us, which makes to help our community and we as an individual improve ourselves. Now, I don't really know. We really don't have a subject matter. We're just going to talk. But I just wanted to kick the conversation off with Brother Harvey Superboy and myself, and Randy. He's going to come in too. But we're going to kick this off with a subject that's near and dear to the YouTube community. And myself and Brother Harvey, I would like for the friends and the subscribers of the Reality's Temple, Angel Stepping Up 7, and the subscribers and the friends of Harvey Superboy, y'all know we're in trouble on YouTube. And the reason why they do not want our voices on YouTube, well, you guys already know, so I really don't have to explain it. But we need your help to stay alive until we get stronger. We need y'all to mirror our videos. We need y'all to set up channels just for us and put these videos out there. We need to put out as many channels and videos as possible so these false flaggers, if they want a false flag, make them work. Make them work 24 hours a day. Show them that they will not, this little kitty action, this cowardly, trashy action that they do is futile. It's not going to mean nothing. Every time, matter of fact, what you're going to do is make it worse for yourself, because every time you turn around, there's my pretty face. There's Harvey's face. You said, it's too many of us, this flag. Y'all, I want to run the knuckles off your hand. That's the way we need to do it. So brothers and sisters, friends and associates, those of you who know that we are not haters, that we are not racist, and all these old crazy things that they say that we are. We are just brothers that come together, and there are also sisters out there whose channels getting flagged. We are just people coming together, trying to talk with one another so that we can attempt to solve the problems in our community and become better individuals ourselves. Because that's where it starts. Matter of fact, if you don't become a better individual, we can't have no effectiveness anyway. You have to become a better person in general. And we can, then that rolls off into the community at wide. But I'm gonna kick this off. If Brother Harvey want to talk about this particular issue or anything that he chooses, and we're gonna go around this room, and whenever any of y'all other brothers that's in that want to jump in the conversation or kick something off, you know, you just be glad to. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm tired as hell. I've been here, but I've been enjoying myself. So y'all sit back, relax. I'll do it with you, and we're gonna kick this off with Brother Harvey Superboy. And thank you for coming to the Reality's Temple.
Thank you, brother. First, I want to say thank you to those who supported me, supported us. Let me say support us. When I started doing these videos, it wasn't with malice or any financial motivation. It was doing it because for years I've seen our people be manipulated, whether it be in print, whether it be music, movies, or even in school. And what kicked it off for me that I had kept seeing stories where people who were white, and I'm going to say that they were racist, because you lying on a black male or black woman when it comes to crimes, where we're basically lying, saying things about our people, and the reaction from the media and from the citizens were very visceral.
Matter of fact, the very first video I ever did was about Bethy Starro. If you don't remember who she was the 26, I think 27-year-old woman. She was deaf. And I want y'all to remember this part. She was deaf. She put acid on her face and said a fictitious black woman did it. The media, YouTube, and y'all, there's some videos still out here on YouTube about it, called black women all kinds of derogatory names. And even some, and I use this term loosely, brothers was joining in, piling in on it. Knowing that black women and black men for the last 40 years have been divided by outside forces. So when a sister heard a black man refer to a slut or bitch, all of us got lumped into that group. When I saw the reaction from Oprah Winfrey, because the sister was supposed to be on Oprah Winfrey show, but thank God some smart thinking white man said, wait a minute, if she had acid on her face, the very same thing I said in my video, why was her eyes damaged? I wear glasses. I know your face get wet. Water's going to get on your eyes at some point. It's going to get it. There's no way around it. So what I did was I got off my butt and said, no, I got to speak to this because whether we have issues with black men and black women, there was people out there just berating our sisters. And from that day on, it started to flow. It kept coming. It just kept coming. And what happened was I started talking about politics because a lot of our people have been manipulated into voting one party. A lot of us have spent our money in unwise fashions. So I spoke about that. But after a while, brother can tell you, I was barely getting 30 views on my channel until I just kept pushing through. Then all of a sudden I started getting the hate from the tried and true racists. You know the brothers. Let's see, I keep saying brothers, yeah, but I refer to everybody like that. But those white men and women who don't want us to have a voice, that want us to stay in the slave masters, you know, they just sit in that type of place where you need to know your place. You can't speak about anything. I was getting death threats, and I told brothers to support me. And they's like, oh, Harvey, you ain't getting no death threats, because at that time, I didn't know enough about the video software. And then after a while, I can't remember, one of the YouTubers came and he said, why don't you invest in some of this video capture software? And once I started doing it, a lot of those men and women was making those threats. They stopped. But guess who took their place? Self-hating black men and black women, as I like to call handkerchief heads. A lot of these brothers and sisters want to become YouTube partners. So what they do, they change the tone of their videos. They start attacking one another because people love to see black people attack each other. It's like a sport to them. You see all the booty shaking videos up here. You see the fight videos. You see the black men defending that white girl when she was calling us niggers and everything. People like that. Those videos are in the thousands, even in millions of hits. But brothers like us, we just speaking about the things we observe. We probably got maybe 400, 600, 700 subscribers. That's too much. So after a while, brothers and sisters said, well, I want those subscribers, so how am I going to get them away from them? I'm going to go out there and make a dummy channel, or I'm going to say Harvey Superboy, or any other brothers out here like ourselves, or sisters talking about, say, he said something about black women. Knowing damn well I never said anything about black women. Then they might say, brother, Harvey don't like your channel, so he comes in, and then they want to go to this super pro-black stuff and don't even understand that you have to have a plan when you talk about overthrowing the country or being a revolutionary. So all of a sudden, everybody's jaw-jacking with each other, and I'm sitting back like, you guys don't understand. We just becoming entertainment for the YouTube community. But then when I go into a different direction and say, let me try a different way of speaking to y'all, then that's even worse. Now, the other day, if you guys don't know, a brother, like I said, I use these terms loosely, and on the spot, we all know him as, Painless. We know he made a series of videos attacking the Trayvon Martin, attacking other brothers and sisters. Matter of fact, he joined people who were racist in getting our videos false flagged or terminated. Well, I came across a video another YouTuber had mirrored, where he said he admitted he was cooning and buffooning. He was tap dancing. And one of my subscribers to my new channel said, you know, you should forgive me. I said, no, that's the problem with us as a people. Every time we do something stupid or dangerous to each other, we forgive them. That's why we can't advance, because we keep giving people the room to keep making mistakes. Other communities, if somebody make a mistake like that, they kick them out. No white man is going to let another white man who defended blacks come back into the community. He's done. He's just trash to him. When we do something, if somebody kill, rob, or whatever, come on back, brother. We pray for you. We're gonna let you back into the fold. We talk about what the man is doing, but we doing the stuff to ourselves. If you disagree with me, you have that right. But don't come to my channel, any other channel, cursing or making threats or making it personal.
Things that make you go, you know, these aren't jokes, these are thoughts, these are things that make you say.
I would like for you to listen to me. You don't have to, but since you're here, just give me a few moments of your time and really just truly think about what I'm telling us. Are you ready? Here we go. Don't you know? I don't know if I have the appropriate time correct, but I do know that it's close to 100 years since Marcus Garvey and the descendants of slaves born in America. We have had some of the greatest teachers. We have had some of the greatest orators. We have had some of the greatest freedom fighters that the world has ever seen. My spiritual teacher, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he called himself the last messenger of Allah. However, if you believe in that ideology, this does not mean that out of the mercy of God that we still won't continue to receive warners. I am a warner to us, whether you like it or not. And out of what some of y'all in religion say, out of God's mercy, this God brings to us warners. And you need a warner because you have left up out of the realm of reality. You've taken religious teachings, you've even taken political ideas, and you made religion out of them, and you become lost in your delusions, in your fantasy, and your arrogancy in these things that you created, not some God. And I am here to warn us who are descendants of slaves born in America that time is not going to wait on you. Time is not going to wait on you. Some of y'all think in this fight for black liberation, the upliftment of black people in this country, you think that this is going to go on forever and ever. You got all the time in the world to get your act straight. That's not how life is. That's not reality. Only the mentally dead will believe such a thing. Because when you're dead, or whenever anything dies, time no longer exists. Time is no longer a factor. The dead does not care, and it is not a requirement that you are in a line with time when dead comes to us, or when death comes to us. There is no doubt, brothers and sisters, that we who are the descendants of slaves born in America, you deserve healing. And you deserve happiness. And you should be put in a place, a better place, due to our 400 years of suffering. There's no doubt about that. That we, out of all, deserve to have a chance at heaven, or as in the Quran calls it, the hereafter. We should have the first opportunity to experience the afterlife. But since we are not in accord with time and we're not doing things in the appropriate manner, in your mind, time is going to wait for you. But that's not true. Not when you are among the living. When you're standing at a bus stop and you don't get there on time, then the bus will leave you. However, out of the mercy of the bus driver, should they see you trying to catch the bus, they might stop. However, if you were on time, the bus driver should stop and allow you on the bus. But time is not going to continue to wait for us, brothers and sisters, for you to get your act together. We as a people get our act together. Unfortunately, and the reality is, sometimes you can't help nobody. Sometimes people are doomed. When you go to a place of rehabilitation and you try to treat the cocaine addict, the heroin addict, the alcoholic, whatever, many of them will be helped. Many of them, for a short period of time, they might look well, they will relapse. Some of them you can't help at all. That's the situation that we are in as a people. Some of you think that we are just going to be a saved people. That's not necessarily true. And that's not a reality, because that's not life. It takes the average, and it is normal, for 9 months to bring a child in this world, a human baby. And within that 9 months of development, the organs must develop in its appropriate time. Everything must develop correctly. If not, the child can be born dead already. DOA, dead on arrival. The child can be born with a physical handicap. The child can be born mentally challenged. The other word is retarded, and there's really nothing wrong with the word. They just don't like it. Sounds really bad. Mentally challenged. Or the child could be both physically handicapped and mentally challenged. This is what you're seeing among the descendants of slaves born in America. Some of us are being born dead. Some of us are handicapped and retarded. You see this in black liberation struggle. We are still, with all our so-called knowledge and information, you are still dead. In fact, the majority of y'all still worship the dead. You worship Muhammad, dead. You worship Jesus, dead. You worship Elijah Muhammad, dead. You worship Malcolm, Marcus, they all dead. And you give the living hell. And with dead people, time no longer exists. That's why you think you got forever. And you're not making and refuse to sacrifice and make the appropriate choices and take the appropriate actions in order to change the condition of us as a people. Only the living understand time. There's a time to eat, a time to have sex, a time to go to your job, time to go to the grocery store, go to basketball practice, football practice, choir rehearsal. The dead, that's not a requirement. There is no understanding. Time does not exist for the dead. Time has stopped for the dead. And although you are not physically dead, since you are still mentally dead, you think that time is going to wait for you. But it's not. Time has never waited for nobody that's alive. Animal, plant, anything living must do what it must do within the appropriate time. Because time waits for no one. And if you are not in accord with the time, and since you don't respect time, then time will eventually run out and you die. We must do things in the appropriate time, in the appropriate manner. You must begin to understand that you think that you are mentally awake or mentally alive. But the reality is you're still mentally dead. And you can argue with me all that you want to, but your actions verify and support and validate what I'm telling us. You continue to act and behave mentally dead, and pretty soon, you're not even going to be physically alive. We keep talking about the genocide, the extermination, and the extinction of black people on this planet. That's going to become a reality because you refuse to act in accord with time and you claim that you are alive. And what do the living do with the dead? You bury them. You cremate them. You get them out the way because dead things begin to decompose and they stink. And they spread disease. So what is happening to the black man and woman, not only in America, but around the earth? You're being exterminated. You're in the way of the living. You need to be buried. You're decomposing. You're causing a great stench for the living. And in my conclusion, I want to tell us, there are many of you, you believe that you can go or you can build a new civilization in the condition that you are. You believe that. No. You still have the mentality of your oppressor. You still are covered with the mud. You must relieve yourself of all the things that you've grown to love and know in this life. You must begin to change everything. You cannot bring mud into a new house. So if you want to go to heaven, if you want to see the hereafter, you must rid yourself of all the mud that was put on you or placed upon us in this world's life. You and I will not be allowed to enter, nor will we be allowed to be the creators of heaven on earth. In the condition that we're in, smelling and carrying the muck and the mire of a decadent civilization and cultures and confusion. You don't even know who you are. You are Egyptian. You're a Hebrew Israelite. You're a Muslim. You're so many different things. Heaven and the hereafter is not confusion. And it surely is not a place of death. It is a place of life. Not to say men and women will not die in heaven or die in the hereafter. Because everything in our reality that's alive will eventually die. But these things that we carry, we already know is death and has brought us death. So why would we want to carry death into a new place that gives us new life and life more abundantly? Do you understand what I'm trying to tell us? Many of you love some of this evil in this world. I don't want nothing of this world. I have a brain. I want to create my own reality. I don't need nothing from Kemet. I don't need nothing from the Bible. I don't need nothing from the Quran. I don't need nothing. The scriptures do tell us that the kingdom of heaven or earth is in you. So you don't need nothing that's here already. Let them have it. If they want to claim Kemet, let them have it. Whatever they want to claim, whatever they want to have, let these wicked people and dirty, filthy beasts, let them have it. Because you got your own thing. Just like Tina Turner told Ike, you can have everything, just give me my name. Because she went on to do and became greater than Ike and Tina Turner. So that's what we want to do. And it was within herself, and it's within us. Stop being afraid to be yourself. Be yourself. Love yourself. Understand who and what we are. And once you do that, the key of heaven will come into our hands and we'll be on our way. Until then, unfortunately, time is running out.
Free your mind.
free your mind.
Woo! I know a lot of folks gonna get angry at me. A lot of folks gonna get upset. And of course, you're gonna call me crazy and insane. He's crazy and insane. Well, I guess I have to be that. And what I am also about to say might seem strange coming from a male. Wow. Of course, this is not going to happen because people are weak-minded. And they also have been indoctrinated by a poison, and their bodies have grown used to the poison. In fact, they don't even believe they have been poisoned in the mind and sometimes in the body. But there's no worse of a poison if someone is able to poison your mind. This message goes to not only black women, but women all over this planet. And I know that you will agree with me. And if it could be done, things would change almost overnight. Because this male who claims he is so strong, is not as strong as he claims to be. The only reason why he is able to do what he does in the world, and especially what he does to womanhood, is because y'all allow that. Just like black folks in this country, we allow racism because we won't take the appropriate actions, the appropriate steps to get rid of it. It can stay in this country, but we don't have to live with it. There's a saying, and y'all can put it in the comments, actually how this quote is said. But I remember a quote saying, drastic times calls for drastic measures. And I want to ask the women, the females, listening to this video, here and around this earth, share this video. I know you're not going to act on it, but share it. Just put the word out there because it's nice to think about. Drastic times calls for drastic measures. Don't you really want equality with males? Don't you really want that? Do you know how that you can really get that? And stop fighting the glass ceiling and all this other foolishness that males put in your way? If you really want equality, the only thing the woman has to do is stop having sex with these men. It's as simple as that. Well, brother, if we stop having sex with these men, then they'll rape us. Well, they are already raping you. They are already prostituting you out. They are already doing evil to you. What do you have to lose? In the Muslim world, you have Muslim females and women in other religious sects. They cover their bodies and they try to be respectful and they submit to these corrupt men. But yet and still, with all your submission, we can't even see your face because you got it all covered up. Can't see your body. You look like a Kroger bag or something. You're doing all this because the man can't control himself. He don't have to dress up like a Kroger bag. But the woman, you got to dress up like a Kroger bag because this man that claims that he's so strong, if he see your breast, he'll go crazy. If he see your leg, if he see your lip, he'll go crazy. He can't think because your body is calling. Your body's calling for me. He is that weak that he can't be around a set of breasts. And he can't function because he can't look at a pair of legs. He can't function. But the woman is the weak sex. You are the weak gender, and you can watch men play basketball with their shirts off and run around half naked. Women don't have no problem, and you're supposed to be the weakest link. You're supposed to be the weak gender. How is that possible? And these guys are supposed to be so strong. And you can't handle looking at a breast in your face and can't function. It throws you off. You can't do your job because somebody's booty in your face. Oh, and you so strong. Come on now. So you have many women, they cover themselves up all over this planet. And you submit. You don't fight. You submit to these men. And you still are raped. You still are beaten. You are still, in some circumstance, some of y'all are even murdered by these men. And you want to lay down and have babies and have for these nutcases, these insane people? Come on now. You don't have nothing to lose. You want to continue to be raped. You want to continue to be called hoes and bitches and all these other stuff of degradation that these males put on you as a female, as women. In America, not only that, but you have this glass ceiling. So you only can go so high. And then, of course, they have some token women. They are allowed to go past the ceiling to give you the illusion like things is getting better. But when it's all said and done, you still a whore, you still a bitch, and so forth. In fact, you have grown to call yourself a whore and a bitch and a slut. Girl, I'm a good hoe. I'm the baddest bee. Again, this is another situation where the victim blames themselves for their condition. And now they have taken on, they begin to abuse themselves. The abuser don't have to call them whore, bitch, or even nigger. Now we call ourselves nigger, black people. Women call themselves sluts and whores and bitches. And you say it with pride. And you learn it from who? You learn it from your abuser. You learn it from your exploiter. You learn it from these corrupt, wicked, and in religion they say unrighteous demons. So you would be changing your condition overnight if you would stop sleeping with these fools. I don't care how nice they are. Because if the men really was upset with inequality for women and really wanted to see you equal, then they'll stand up for you. How many of them are doing that? They're not doing that. And the reason why they're not doing that, because they like the feeling of being supreme over you. There is no real equality in the household. They like it. Women need to stop sleeping with men. Let them sleep with themselves. You need to concentrate on your own gender. Strengthen your own gender. There are women out there who are in bad shape. Get the prostitutes off the street. Help other women. Get them out of the stripper club. Get your female gender out of the strip clubs and the prostitution and all these other places that entertain these bums, these so-called men. They are not men. They are demons. They are devils. How can another human being treat another human being the way they do simply because you have a vagina? So there is hatred for the vagina. And you should question any man who hates the vagina. Let them sleep with themselves. In fact, many of them, and y'all know it, many of them are sleeping with themselves. Some of them are doing it undercover. They're doing it in the closet. But they have began to sleep with themselves. The only thing they need you for is to have babies. Stop having babies for these things.
You don't have equality. I don't care what religion, I don't care where you are on this planet. There is no real equality with the man on this planet. Equality, for a very simple example, is we have two apples. I have an apple, you have an apple. Our apples are exactly the same. However, if my apple is 2 times bigger than your apple, that is not equality. Then you need to cut that apple down some and try to make it equal. They're not going to cut nothing down. Because these men, I don't call them men, I call them the males. Because real men don't do this. A real man wants to see you as another human being reach your highest potential. A real man does not see you as some subservient. Submit to me. Submit to you for what? We submit to each other. I help you, you help me. The woman is weaker, so since I'm stronger, I should take up the role of protector. I have the more strength. Physically, the man was made put in a better position for that. But we're still equals, but we know our roles. But let us not be inferior. Stop sleeping. It's simple. Stop sleeping with these fools. How can you say that, brother? Including me too, it don't make no difference. Then I can guarantee you, you'll begin to get real equality. I am telling black people in this country, drastic times calls for drastic measures. Ain't you sick of being treated the way we've been treated in this country? But if you tell these racists who keep telling you you ain't nothing, and you seriously take an action to separate from them, I can guarantee you they will change, because we give, oh wow, ooh, don't you know, black man and woman of America, we give this nation soul. If black people, and also competence, we also give them compassion. These people don't have no compassion. They don't have no soul. We give all that to them. They don't have no mercy. They don't have no life. That's why they don't like you. Because even when we are suffering, the black man and woman in America, even though we catch hell, we can always smile. Always dance, always sing. I remember just a few years ago, during the Great Flood of '93 in the St. Louis metropolitan area, you had Caucasian people. They was crying because their houses got flooded out. And in East St. Louis, which is primarily a black population, they was not crying. They took doors down and was playing in the water and smiling and said, oh, well, I'll be glad when it dry out. That's the difference. There's a difference between man and woman. You're not like that man, woman. He's a hell raiser. You bring peace. You're a nurturer. You filled with this type of love. He's a destroyer. His history shows that. Stop having sex with a demon. And when you do that, you begin to bring out real manhood. But at this time, as long as you give them what they want for nothing, then you'll continue to be exploited. You continue to be their slave. This is one of my videos. I am very sure so many in the quote unquote black conscious community, black nationalism, black whatever, they will become upset. And really, I could care less because it is time for you to get upset and change your ways. Because clearly these ways are not working for you as an individual. You pretend they do, but it is not working. And surely it is not having the appropriate effect upon us as a people in order to change a horrid condition, to bring life to those of whom you call mentally dead. However, it says in scriptures in the Bible that the blind cannot lead the blind. So technically, since those of us who are making this claim, since truly in reality, you are blind yourself, pretending you can see, sleepwalking, then it is no shock and no surprise to me that even though there are thousands of you out here, the people continue to remain in a horrid condition. Well, what about you and your Snup 7? There are not thousands of people like me, but there are thousands of people like you. So the people are giving you an opportunity to show your stuff. What you gonna do? And you continue to fail. But you make pretty videos and you say pretty words to give yourself an illusion as though you got it going on. But then when reality sits in, you get upset because when you look in the mirror, you're looking at the face of failure. Beautiful words, and you might have a little something, but you claim as though you represent and want what is best for us and change the condition of descendants of slaves born in America, and you are far from getting the job done. In fact, you're going backwards, and you're staying in the past, and you're tripping off dead people that can no longer help us, and you reject and ignore the living that came from the black woman's womb whom you prayed for. You prayed for the existence of somebody like me. You prayed for somebody like King Noble. You prayed for somebody like Sarah Seti. You prayed for us. And we come unto our own, and our own receive us not. I want to ask you, who made up this word, black conscious? The only time I heard of this word, black conscious, is when I began to listen to videos and interact on social media. I'm black conscious. What is that? What is black conscious? I don't understand it. Someone has to really explain to me what it is, but I tell you of how I see it. I don't like the name black conscious, and I'll tell you why. Well, conscious. What is conscious? Conscious is simply being aware. If somebody is in a boxing ring and they get knocked out and you fall on the floor and they give you some smelling salts and they slap your face a little bit and they say, wake up. They just want to find out if you are conscious. Do you realize where you're at? Are you awake? That's all that it means. Conscious does not mean, and clearly, if you were knocked out on your backside in a boxing ring, conscious does not mean you're going to do anything. Conscious does not mean that you can do anything. It just means that you are aware. I understand. Yeah, I'm here. I see you. That's all conscious means. Then we have the word black. And black is simply a color. It does not mean melanin, because there are many things that's black. Does not necessarily mean it has melanin and all this pseudoscience that we hear all the time. Black is just a color. And the reason why we put black is because we were attacked by a people who called us black in order to make us inferior. So now we take the black and we try to make it positive. However, in the English language, we do know that black means cursed, unrighteous, evil, and so forth. It is a very negative description, and it was given or forced upon us as a people. And then we are trying to make the word black positive, but at the same time, look at the negativity and look what we do so that it would rather continue to describe black as evil, as unrighteous, cursed, and so forth. Even so, how conscious do you have to be that you're black? Don't you wake up every day? Don't you see your skin color? Dark brown, black, however you view it, we are called black people. This is something that you're so unconscious that you have to be taught. Even Uncle Tom Negroes know that they black. They might don't want to admit it, but in this world, we are called black people. You don't have to be that conscious to understand that. So let me describe some of these, quote unquote, not all of them. Matter of fact, many of you are good at heart. Let me make that perfectly clear. The majority of you are good at heart and you are sincere in your black consciousness. However, there are negative forces within black consciousness that gives you, just like in religion, there are many wacky Christians that make Christians look bad. There are many Muslims that make Islam looks bad. There are many people in black conscience that make what you call black conscience look very, very pitiful, pathetic, and bad. There are many calling themselves black conscious. They are sitting in jail for stealing from black people, for assaulting black people, even murdering black people, but yet they are black conscious. Black conscious don't mean you're going to do anything. Black conscious just means that I'm aware. But it's not enough to stop me from killing black people. Woo! Did you hear what I said? Black conscious just means that I'm aware, but it's not enough to stop me from making mockery of black people, murdering black people, stealing from them, lying on black people. It just means that I'm aware. Even so far to say, and we can even add so-called black nationalists. There's a black nationalist who actually called the police on me. I did not do anything to this person. Ask this person what I done, and they cannot prove and show no evidence that I caused them any harm that they did not deserve. So if I did anything, it was in response from being assaulted or attacked by a black nationalist. But this is a black nationalist, and I've never done anything to them, and they want to call because they know of my past with the racist criminal justice system. They want to call the police and place false charges in order to get another black person locked up in the racist system. Then they're going to make a video talking about the white man or Caucasian people and their racist system, and they run around trying to get black people in the system. Y'all fake hypocrites. Woo! Black conscious, black nationalism, they so fake. What did a black man, what did anybody do to any of you? They deserve to be, you steal from them. Lie on them. Try to get other blacks in the racist criminal system. Murdering another black man. What did these people do to make you want to do that? But then, see, you just aware of your blackness doesn't mean that you love. It don't mean that you love black people. There are thousands of you who claim black conscience. And when you look at the thousands, whether you are sincere or insincere, when you look at the thousands of people that claim black conscience, first of all, again, conscience just means that you're aware. It don't mean that you're going to do nothing. But when you look at black conscious folks, thousands, they are confused. They are still filled with self-hatred, jealous of one another, divided, and above all, ineffective due to confusion, due to division, due to they are just being aware, but it don't mean they're going to do anything to change the condition. Lazy, couch potatoes, television watchers, video watchers. And in reality, they are scared of the racists. A bunch of comfortable Negroes. The majority of them hide behind pictures on social media. It's thousands of you who claim black conscience. Meaning, again, you're just aware that you black. You had to be taught that, which is a crying shame. And you're learning all these high sciences from Kemet and what these other people done and ancient people that you don't know nothing about. Ain't none of these people taught you nothing. Nobody from Kemet taught you nothing. Ain't no Hebrew Israelite taught you nothing. Ain't no more taught you nothing. All these are manufactured thinking processes that you trip on because you're afraid to face the enemy straight out. So you studying. You studying for what? It don't take much to study warfare. It don't take much to bang on the beast. What you need all this study for? What you studying? So we can know. Raise up the teachers. The teachers can teach the children. But again, just because you black conscious don't mean you're going to do nothing. Thousands of people in black conscious. And you're not, and have done nothing beneficial to our people. A bunch of hypocrites. In fact, I would even go to say that y'all are a bunch of Uncle Tom upgrades. Because if you're not doing nothing to face this enemy, and it's thousands of you, and you ineffective. In fact, you are hurting black people more than an enemy. Then you're a bunch of Uncle Toms, and you are an enemy to black people because you only are aware of being black. But that don't mean you're going to do anything for the black or you love black people. I'm sorry I had to laugh. But you know, I said I am your brother and hopefully your friend. You know, after this video, some of you definitely say, yeah, you ain't no brother of mine. Woo, let me get this. It's nice to laugh. That's good therapy to a certain point. But don't laugh your life away because really you are in a position or you are in a condition that is really not funny. Now, my subject that I've chosen to speak upon in these few minutes is my additional commentary on interracial, some people say intercultural, whatever. It's interracial, basically. It's the interaction of races or the intercourse of races or species of others. Interracial relationships. Now, in a perfect world, we would not, and there is no need to have such conversation. However, unfortunately for us, living in this period of time, but if it was in the appropriate time, which y'all can't wait for, because y'all got to have some Caucasian penis, y'all got to have some Caucasian vagina. Nobody else loves me. Black women reject me. Black men reject me. I just got to have love. I'm just so full of love. In a perfect world, and in the appropriate time, there would be no need for this conversation. But of course, as you know, this is not a perfect world. So clearly, it is not the appropriate time. Because that which made it an imperfect world still exists. And it still exists because y'all still feeding it. And you're not taking the appropriate actions to destroy it because you love, so you want to give a false, image. You want this delusion that everything is sort of all right, it's getting better, when in reality it is not. It is not because you have not done things appropriately in the correct time. Interracial relationships. If we're going to use, there are other species or races of people on this planet, but I want to talk about the Caucasian pink black folks interracial relationship, because usually that's who we love. The people that enslaved our ancestors, that destroyed our towns, that destroyed our businesses, that shoot our young boys and young men in the middle of the street, who deny us proper housing, deny us proper employment, still to this day, we love. And if we get a little something, we really love, because now we're comfortable in the racism. And we really love because Paula and Jack and Annie Mae, they ain't like the other white folks. But yet and still, very few Caucasian people actually take a stand against the racism. Because if they took a stand, really, if the majority took a stand against the racism, there would be no need for me to say nothing or even have a YouTube channel dedicated to the things that I say. And I would be happy to shut my mouth. But because this is not a reality, then I have the right to continue to speak, to let young brothers and sisters and even older brothers and sisters who need to wake up their mind so they can see the reality of the situation that we're in. If a Caucasian person, if a pink person really love you, then they would love you enough to say, look, I know you have feelings for me, I have feelings for you, but my love for you, black man, my love for you, black woman, it is better that you find your love with somebody in your own race, in your own species there, because of what has happened in the past. This is not the right time. And you need to learn, black man, you need to learn, black woman, how to love yourself. Because chances are, if you love yourself, you wouldn't love me anyway. That is a Caucasian person that is speaking truthfully and in reality, not a deceiver and a liar. If you go out into the forest and you find an eagle that has been hurt, and then you take that eagle and you help mend that eagle and bring it back to health, do you keep it in a cage for a pet, or you let that eagle go back out into the wild and be a real eagle? There are people who have actually tried and still put an eagle in a cage and incarcerate the eagle. But yet and still they talk about how much they love. You did not find the eagle in a cage. You found that eagle, although it was hurt, out in the wild.
you found these black people in a slave-like condition. We were hurt. And they put us in a cage called slavery for 400 years. But instead of releasing us, you decide and continue to make us your pet. If the black man and woman, the descendants of slaves born in America, if they were in their right state of mind, if they had any idea of what it really meant to be free, they would not want you. But since they are filled with self-hate, since they are products and have become domesticated by Caucasian people, then they have a sick love for their oppressor or abuser. But again, in their right state of mind, just like that eagle, since that eagle knows what it meant to be free, that eagle is not interested in your love. That eagle wants to get out of that cage and go back from whence it came from. And if you had any kind of heart, and if you really love the eagle, you'll open up the cage, since now the eagle can fly on its own and go back to what it was doing. You'll let that eagle go. But just like Moses in the Bible, the prophet had to go to Pharaoh and tell that Pharaoh that God said, let my people go. So now there are voices like mine and many other black people telling the racist Caucasian people, let my people go. If you notice in these interracial relationships, the black person is always the European, has a European mentality. But you never see the Caucasian person trying to be an African, trying to be Swahili, trying to be Liberian, trying to be some type of African. It's always us still being a black Oreo cookie version of you. If it was the other way around, you would not care anything about interracial relationships because you don't lose nothing of yourself. But the black man, the black woman involved in interracial relationship, they have lost everything that is of them. They are not black. They are nothing but black-skinned versions of Europeans. And you don't mind that. That's why you're comfortable with black people, because they're nothing but copies of you with black skin. If they were something other, you wouldn't like it. And you would have nothing to do with them. You would not love and want to love them. I take that back, because there are some Caucasian women, there's always exception to the rule, who don't mind trying to be African, trying to be black. They like the black culture. But that's not the majority. A good majority of you are fakes and frauds. If a dog, the Caucasian people's best friend, if the dog was not domesticated, and you know you have a dog as a pet, if that dog was not domesticated, that dog wouldn't have nothing to do with you. If that dog lived a wild life and could think like a person supposed to be able to think, but clearly y'all don't think that way, that dog wouldn't care nothing about you. That dog would not love you, and because that dog want to be a dog and go and be with other dogs. That dog would not care nothing about being with human beings. But because that dog has become a slave and domesticated, this dog has a sick love for a slave master that don't even look nothing like himself. It was because the dog was enslaved. And it is because of slavery, because black folks of this country have suffered 400 years of slavery and don't know no other life except slavery. They fallen in love with the oppressor. They have fallen in love with the slave master. That is the reason why black people are attracted to Caucasian people, because we were enslaved. There's always exceptions to the rule, like I said earlier. But history, and many of you are history buffs, many of you know there is nowhere in history as a people where Africans or black people were running around or any other race for that matter, chasing racist, Caucasian racist people. There was nobody on this planet running around and saw the Caucasian women. Ooh, they so beautiful, I just fall in love. That's not what happened. You conquered people. You took over the world. You influenced the world. And since you got a people that have been destroyed, beat up, or they fear you, then they feel this attraction to you. Not because you are filled with love, not because you good, but because you become an abuser. And anybody that has been in an abusive relationship, they try to get on the good side of the oppressor or the abuser. And that's all that it is. It's not real love. It's not real care. In fact, the reality is nobody really loves Caucasian people. The love you think that you're getting has been caused by fear, because people think that you're going to drop a bomb on them. And because you've taken you've hoarded all the gold and the silver and the diamonds and the wealth of the planet. Nobody really loves you. And in conclusion, the interracial people tell us this lie. You can't help who you fall in love with. That's an outright lie. You reject people every day. Somebody that might love you. I don't want nothing to do with that. Well, how come you couldn't help falling in love with them? Come on, common sense, that's a lie. That's a lie. How do you fall, or how do you can't fall in love with somebody? That's a lie. You reject people every day. I couldn't help fall. In this particular instance, perhaps there's a bit of truth, because the people that you're dealing with were enslaved. And they can't help falling in love with their master because they still carry a slave mentality. But now you have voices. Now you have words that are awakening the minds so that they can come out of this slave mentality, come up out of this domestication and see what has happened to them. Come up out of self-hatred. Because when you love yourself, there's more of a chance that you want to be with somebody that look like yourself. That's the bottom line. Because you can help who you fall in love with. Especially fall in love with a people who have abused and murdered and exploited us for generations. Now you know, when I start off that way, I got a rant going. I got a rant. I'm Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother number 1. I'm a nice guy, but when things piss me off, I gotta knock that dust off my shoulder, because I done stood all I can stand. I can't stand no more. Now, I make it very clear that I am very much pro soul sister. This is a pro soul sister channel. I'm probably the only one that has women behind them on the wall. The other fellas, if they have anybody on the wall, it's usually a man, and that makes me question them, because why would men want to keep hanging men on the wall to look at all the time? That makes me question. But even so, you know this is a pro soul sister channel. If you don't like it, you need to kick rocks. You need to get out of here, because I will defend these. I stand with these. If I'm the only brother on the planet with these, I'll be a happy camper. I don't care if I don't see another man in my life, because a lot of these guys are pathetic. You pieces of trash. You incompetent. You a bunch of cowards. And that's just how it is. I don't like you. I can see why the women don't like you, because I don't like you either. So don't come here. Don't come to this house. Women only. I don't need no men here at all. I will do, and I'm doing perfectly fine, because you don't mean nothing anyway. You're weak and pathetic. Now, I could say, well, not all brothers. When you show me that's not what you are, then I will say that. I'm not going to sit here and tell, well, all brothers, I don't see it. I don't see it. There's a lot of woman hating, especially the sisters. Y'all, just the fact, just the thought of women in leadership makes these guys all upset. Women can't lead. Women can't support the family. Women haters. At the same time, you say the women complain. The woman should complain about your happy ass. You do not even live up to what you claim you're supposed to do. Look, Negro, you're supposed to be a provider. Do you provide? No. Do you protect? Hell no. The only thing you do is make babies, get drunk, get high, talk about what you gonna do. Oh, when the white man come, I'm gonna do this. When the white man come, what do? Put your hands behind your back and they tell you your rights. You have the right to remain silent and all that kind of good stuff. Y'all happy ass don't do nothing. Matter of fact, this happened not too long to one of these kill the cracker brothers. And the cracker came and his happy ass went without a fight to jail. Probably on probation right now. Don't even hear much about him after that incident. Because see, this is what the Holy Quran says. The Quran says, don't think that you're going to believe and not be tested. Y'all like to run your mouth, talk about what you gonna do and whatever. And you know you ain't gonna bust a grape. Shut the hell up. That's why a lot of them stay away from me. I don't have time for it. I'm too old. I don't have time for the nonsense. So stay away from me. Now look, women have the right to complain about your happy ass. And you don't want to hear it because what she's saying is true. You know it's true. I know it's true. I can accept it. So I'm working. I want to do better. I can handle the critique because I want to be better. Don't hurt my feelings because I want to be what she want me to be. You want to be what your massa wants you to be. That's all. So you a man. Well, if you're a man, then lead, punk. Then let's leave. Let me get in the car with you. Where you going? Let's take a ride. Okay, let's do this. Let's start with Marcus Garvey. Okay, we're in the car with Marcus Garvey. Everything seemed fine. Marcus Garvey is a good leader. Okay, we driving down the road. Now, Marcus Garvey had problems. Okay, now Marcus Garvey gets deported and dies. Over 1 million members of the UNIA, the Black Power, RBG, the red, black, and green. Over 1 million members. One man died. One man died. The whole movement fell apart. Led by who? Talk to me. Talk to me. Led by who? Led by men. Okay, let's go to Martin Luther King. The SCLC, right? Southern Leadership Conference. However, I forgot exactly how that goes. But anyway, Dr. King, April the 4th, 1968, assassinated. He was a leader. He's the male leader. You are not following Coretta. You're following Martin Luther King. Okay, we're in the car. Everything's going good. Martin Luther King is assassinated. Actually, before Dr. King is assassinated, his organization splits in two because the other men don't like the fact that Dr. King want to represent humanity, the people of oppression, rather than just the Negro. So his organization splits in half, led by men. the males did the splitting. And after Dr. King died, that was the end of all of it. Led by men. Led by men. So clearly, once the head Negro, once the alpha male dies or whatever, the rest of the men just fall apart. What kind of leadership is that? What kind of leadership is that? So now we have Malcolm X. By any means necessary. Y'all like saying that, don't you? By any means necessary. By any means necessary. Malcolm X gunned down by some cowards. And you have some cowards, some males who are cowards today that don't want to take responsibility for what their members did in 1965. But Malcolm X, dead. What happens to his organization? Led by men, controlled by the men. It's not the women. In none of these cases, not the women, because men don't follow women because women ain't leaders. So you're not even going to give a woman a chance. So Malcolm's organization cannot even get off the ground, led by men. Okay, so that's the end of that. Then we have the Nation of Islam. What was it? February 25th, 1975. I think that's correct. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, prior to that, it seems as though the Nation of Islam, okay, the thing with Malcolm X, we got over that. The thing with a whole lot of stuff. Okay, we driving. We had some bumps in the road. Nation of Islam. But we doing good. Driving. Elijah Muhammad died. Surrounded by men. All about male leadership. What happens? Elijah Muhammad dies. Well, the first thing the men do is put a person who they know is a disbeliever in leadership position. That's very wise, very smart by the men. And next thing you know, over 40 years of hard work and labor down the drain in less than 2 years because of male leadership. The women just following, because the women of the Nation of Islam, they just slaves. They just follow. Wherever the man go, here I come, baby. Wherever the man go, here I come, baby. Assalamu alaikum. My man taking care of everything. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. I'm just a breeder. That's all the women do in all these organizations. Only thing they know how to do is have babies. That's all. Can't lead nobody. Lead you to the maternity room. That's the only thing these women know how to do. So that organization falls apart. Of course, we have men that's going to rebuild. I'm rebuilding the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All these rebuilders of the teachings. It'll never die again. Like, so what? Okay, we're in the car driving. So you still have men in leadership because they rebuilt. They bringing back the teachings of a man that they let down those years ago. Where's it going? Louis Farrakhan, the most popular, 40 years of work, don't have nothing to show for it. Nothing. Led by men. A bunch of talk. A bunch of making excuses. Things take time. How much time the hell do you need? You have people that's suffering. You have lots of money, lots of support, plenty of education. You got everything that you need. You just don't know what to do with your leader ass. You don't know what the hell that you're doing. Then you have the Black Panthers. You had Eldridge Cleaver. You had Huey Newton. And all these guys, Bobby Seale, whatever. Got into trouble. Again, we have a nice ride. The free lunch program. Free health care type of program. We're doing pretty well. Having some trouble with the police. But we men, we can handle it. When things get tough, we can handle it. All these situations, the men get tough. They don't seem like they can handle a damn thing. It's about being competent. So since the time of Marcus Garvey till now, what is the condition of the people with the men in leadership? You can argue, you can try to argue with me all that you want to. The condition tells us you ain't going nowhere. I don't give a, these men don't know what they're doing. They don't have the right attitude. They just don't get it. And especially if you do not put a military option on the table. It don't make no difference whether you win or you lose. You show these Peckerwoods we the wrong people to be playing with. You don't hear these suckers talking about armed conflict because they scared. What kind of leader are you if you scared to go into battle? Let's build a school. That's nice. All this other stuff is nice. Build a business. I know all like that. But you can't protect it. But you're a leader. You're a leader, but cannot protect what you build. But then you want to get all upset with the thought women can't lead. You don't expect a woman to be a protector. You don't expect a woman to be a provider. You are the one making these claims. Then you should do that, but you're not. Then you want to get upset because the sisters are sitting back in the cut. Well, when you gonna protect us? When you don't give us our nation? We having all these babies for a nation, and we don't have nowhere to put them. We still giving them to the Peckerwood. We still giving them to the racists. You want to get all, things take time. How much time do you need? You need all this time because you don't know what the hell that you're doing. You talk good. Where's that camera at? You talk good. You talk a good game, but that's all it really is. It's a game. You know it's a game, and I know it's a game. Now, when you talk about violence, you don't mind threatening me. You don't mind threatening Malcolm X. You don't mind threatening other soul brothers. Oh yeah, you would do that. You would put military action as an option on your agenda to kill and murder your own people that you claim that you love, and you're a liar. Because if you really love your people, that means you will love all of them. And you will find a place in your heart for all of them. But you really don't. You want slaves just like your massa because you're nothing but a reflection of your massa. That's all that these Negroes are. And these women, slowly but surely, sisters, you are finding out that these men ain't nothing but overseers on a plantation. You are nothing but something to use. You are nothing but their slave. The only thing you can do is have babies and clean their house and shine their shoes. That's all that you can do. Just a thought. Just because you have a penis don't make you special. Just because that woman has a vagina don't mean that she can't lead. That she don't have a strategy. She's not a thinker. She can't have what it takes to get us out of here. So don't come here with your crazy talk. You hate women? Get the hell out of here. Because I don't play that. I know better. If you want to prove it. Show me. So far, over 100-some years since the time of Garvey, look at the condition we're in. Following men.
I keep it real.
What, dear?
Because I keeps it real like that. I keeps it real.
And with any truth, there are those who get angry and upset because we can't handle the truth. So we attack the person that carries that truth. And I have never said that I agree with her opinion 100%. And then what makes things more terrible is that you have people who believe they own you and can tell me who I should be friends with, who I should associate with, and who I cannot associate with because of this and that. And I don't like that. Especially from faceless trolls. You don't tell me who I can be friends with. Especially from people who ain't doing a dang thing for me. You ain't sent me one dime. You don't pay no bills here. You don't do nothing except listen to a video. And if you don't want to listen to a video, move out. Go on about your business. Never asked you to come here to begin with. I am not your slave. I've had enough of being enslaved. I'm not going to relieve myself of races just to become a slave to folks with dark skin. It don't work that way. However, because of my association and because I do agree with many of the truths, and I'm not going to argue with truths that come from Raven, then I find myself attacked by Caucasian people and perhaps dark-skinned people who don't like her. My channel's terminated and so forth. But when you are in the truth business, and when you speak and stand like I do, then that is expected, because there's nothing else a troll or anybody else can do except false flag a video on social media, because you can't argue with the truth that we're bringing to you. You should wonder, and it should make you think, when you always talk about what is wrong in the world. The world needs to change. The world does this, and the world is bad, and all of these things that we say. But you skip over something that is very important, and that is this world for the last few thousand years has been controlled, created, and dominated by men, regardless of race. Men of all races across this earth run and control this planet, the humanity of this planet. So if you don't like the world, then you better begin to look at men. And this is what I agree with Raven on. Something is wrong with men, not just black men, men in general. Raven decided to fall out with me because I disagreed with something that she done. She said that I sided with police officers or something to that, and that was not the case. The case was we need to choose our battles. Every battle against authority, every battle you don't have to fight. That is all I was saying to her. And so she got angry because I told her you could have just let that go and find a battle that is much more something that you should fight. This one you should not have to fight every battle. And being one who is a victim of incarceration, then I can tell you from my experience that it is not good to try to fight every battle, because every battle is not worth it. Only a battle that's going to bring you some type of benefit should you win. But now that is over. If she does not want to associate with Angel Snub 7, that is all well and good. However, since she makes her opinion public and she has decided to attack black men, and I am known not to defend black men, which is a lie, which is an outright lie. There's no proof to that. But since this is a outright blanket, how you pronounce that word? This is an outright attack on black men, and this opinion does not truly contain truth in it, then I will step up and must respond in defense of black men. Now, she wants to paint the Caucasian pink man as an angel. I want to remind Raven Masterson that the Caucasian male for the last few hundred years has become and still is the greatest murderer worldwide. He has forced his religion on billions. He has poisoned our food supply, poisoned the air, poisoned the water. Right now, dropping bombs on innocent men, women, and children as I speak. He is the proponent. He is the root cause of abortion. He is the man that calls us and have taught the earth to call women whores and sluts and bitches, and make you degrade yourself by selling your body. And you try to justify it. But he is the one that is behind the degradation of women, period, within the last few hundred years. And other males follow that example because he is the one on top. And if it works for him, why it can't work for me? What man or what any being don't like the feeling of superiority and exploiting those who are inferior? But again, this mentality that you bring across, and I don't know what you really are. You say that you're a mulatto, you're a black woman, then you're a mulatto the next. I don't know what you are. But however, if you call yourself black, and when we speak like this, it is no shock, because the victim always blame themselves for their condition and never accuse the abuser, never accuse the real perpetrator of the crime. So it is not no shock to me, since you also say and make clear that you love Caucasian men, that you don't want to really place the blame on them. So your opinion is prejudice. I'm not offering no opinion. I am going to speak the truth, whether it hurts black men or it don't hurt black men, whether it hurts black people in general or don't hurt black people. But let us be fair and let us be just. How can a man be an angel like you trying to paint them as, when they have then done nothing since their existence on this planet, caused murder worldwide, rape and theft and other countless evil? How can you say that black men are more vicious than these Caucasian men? You don't bring no real examples except domestic violence. But when you look at the people in the world, there's nobody more vicious, no one more dangerous than the racist Caucasian people that drop bombs. I've never seen no black man or no black country of black men that have dropped bombs on others, nuclear bombs, and kill millions in fraction of a second. You said that a black man is more vicious because of how he beats up on a woman. And you want to paint the Caucasian man as some type of angel. But when the reality is, whether you get shot by 1 bullet or 100, the result is that you are dead. It makes no difference whether somebody killed you beautiful or they killed you ugly. You're still dead. So what difference do it make? And who knows the Caucasian pink man more than the Caucasian racist pink woman? Ask her about how angelic. Look at the Caucasian woman history. She would tell you of how she has been defiled, denied her rights, beaten and abused, called whores and slut, everything. She's not going to stand with you and tell this outright lie. Not if she go by her history, living with her man while black folks was enslaved. Next to the slave, the Caucasian woman was catching hell. Look it up. They'll tell you. And then there's the Caucasian men who made up these religions that make men superior. And of course, they say it is in the black man's nature to be spiritual. So when the black man is given these religions that's dominated, was created not by some God, but by man. What kind of man? The Caucasian racist pink man gave it to him. So they only follow what they've been taught by their real father, not the father in heaven, thou art in heaven, but the father in the White House, the father on the slave plantation. That's who their real father is. And the black man is spiritual, so he has been taught that he's supposed to dominate everything. And the first place he better dominate is his house, and that's the woman and these children. So the Caucasian, or rather the so-called Negro, the so-called black man of America, we are the products of racism. We are the products and been influenced by a woman-hating man. Why you think that the Caucasian man loved to be with men? He promotes homosexuality. He promotes man on man because he's in love with himself and has a hatred for womanhood, regardless, even if it's his own. The Caucasian pink woman ain't nothing but something to use for pleasure and to produce more males. He's an anus worshiper. That's why there's an unusual concentration on booty. And when you have booty, what do you have? You have an anus. Before you can, if you're looking from the behind, you see the anus first, then you see the vagina and the penis. They are fascinated with the anus. Can't you see there's a sickness? Can't you see that there's a sickness not only in the black man, but there's a sickness in the black woman because we was raised by sick people. They are the only father that we know. So, if you truly are a seeker of what is right and wrong, then you need to know that what you're saying is based purely on a personal opinion because you find favoritism in Caucasian men when they are not what you're talking about at all. So it is false, it is a lie, and I would defend that all the way down. I agree that men have messed up this world. But now you have voices like mine and you have other voices rising up to try to get the man and the woman, humanity itself, straight. Otherwise, you don't have a beautiful future as you continue to poison this planet and destroy animal life. This particular subject is funny, but then also at the same time it's very sad. And then again, it makes me very, very angry that we continue to be so I don't know what the word to use, because no matter what word I choose, there are many people that would be offended. So they say, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. But maybe perhaps the word is we continue to allow ourselves to be deceived. We continue to allow ourselves to live in a fantasy world in hopes that what we are taught what we believe may be true. However, time is the greatest thing that tests whatever in life. Time is the ultimate test. And time shows us, regardless of how much you believe, what you feel, what you think you know, time lets it all hangs out and it reveals whatever it is, exactly what it is. And even though we are presented reality right in our face, many of us, we will still ignore and continue to believe in our delusions, our fantasy that we have built up in our mind. Because certainly it's got to be better. Certainly I don't believe in this and it is wrong. It is an error. It is impossible. We make mistakes every day. How come we can't make a mistake in the religions, the belief systems that we choose? And that is my subject. I just recently watched a few videos not too long ago, and the video was full of praise God, God this and the God that, and God, God, God. The question that arises for me is, praise God for what? They keep telling and saying all these things about God. I have yet to see anything that what this God has done for anybody. And you may say, because of my own experience, I hate God. I cannot hate what don't exist. I cannot even dislike. It does not exist. I don't blame God. I blame ourselves for our own ignorance, for our own inability to see that this stuff is fantasy stuff. It is no more than when you saw the child that had the invisible friend, and you looking at the child, and the child said, "This is my friend," and you look, and there's no friend. The friend is invisible. And since we grow up as children with this type of mentality of invisible friends, when we become adult, it is easy to put on you and teach you that there is the greatest invisible friend way out there in the sky, somewhere out there in the universe. You will never see this invisible friend. None of you have an email, a phone number, no way to contact this invisible friend. But yet you will laugh at the child with the invisible friend, but you get angry if somebody laughs at you because of you and your invisible friend, because your invisible friend is real. Woo! You must understand that this is not mockery, because I come from the same place that you come from. I was raised in the state of Mississippi. I was raised in the Baptist church. The beginnings of my life, I was influenced by Christian teaching. So I understand exactly where you coming from. I believe in Jesus. Well, what happened to you? What happened to me is that my brain began to kick in and tell me that something here was wrong. And unlike y'all, I began to listen to my brain. My brain tells me you might not understand what I'm trying to say to you, but time will reveal to you and show you the reality that this belief system is not for you, and it is out of time. It is inappropriate. It keeps you enslaved. It does not allow me, your brain, to do what I need to do in order to free not only you as an individual, but you belong to a people who have been physically free, but their brains are still in shackles. And their brains are still in shackles because this belief system that you have been taught, it is used and have been used all types of forms, even prior to the Caucasian people. These belief systems have been used to make people docile, easily controlled. Because no God has come to us personally. We were taught this by a man, and since the man controlled the religion or the belief system, and you believe it, he controls you. You don't want to believe that. But clearly, the condition that we find ourselves in, we find ourselves in a slave-like condition. Always serving somebody, always worshiping somebody. We never want to be outside of slavery. If I'm not slave to the Caucasian people, then I'm slave to a black man, or I'm slave to some god or alien, or I got to serve somebody. That goes to show you that you have not broken the mentality of a slave, because you don't understand really what freedom is. You have no idea of truly breaking the bonds. You got to serve somebody. It is ludicrous. And it is insane. And it is a detriment to you. Here is your life. This life was given to you. But the only reason why you exist is to serve somebody. I would rather not exist. It's the same thing as like when we raise a chicken. And we raise that chicken, the ultimate purpose is eggs, and the ultimate purpose is that life was brought into existence, and we control that life so that we can have fried chicken when it's all said and done. If a chicken or a cow or any animal could think the way that we think as a human being, what type of existence would that be? To know that you was born just so that your life would be cut short and you would be eaten by somebody else. And basically, that's what has happened to us. As a slave, you are eaten by some other higher predator. And then we find pride in it. I only exist to serve God. You think that you're saying something high and mighty. That you're a slave. I'm here to serve somebody. I only exist to serve somebody. You think that you're really saying some big time stuff, like you're doing something big. Praise this God. Now, unlike the racist Caucasian people, if somebody came here during slavery and was going to bring harm to his slaves, the racist Caucasian people would take up arms and protect their property because their property is this slave. Now, you want to worship God, and when you say servant, you basically are saying you are a slave. Because that's why you exist, to serve this God. However, you have been attacked by all kinds of forces for thousands of years, praying to God. And God has done nothing to protect you from your enemies, those who come to cause you harm. I was watching also Roots. And of course, Kunta Kinte was trapped by the slave catchers. And he kept talking about Allah this, Allah that. Allah knows. And guess what? Allah didn't do nothing for Kunta Kinte till the day Kunta Kinte, now his name is Toby, till the day that he died. Praise God. I'm asking you again. Praise God for what? Y'all been praising God for thousands of years. And all these oppressed people been praising God for thousands of years. And this God never did nothing to help you. If you did not help yourself, then your condition would not change. It says in the scriptures that God helped those who help themselves. If I can help myself, what I need you for? We don't think about the things that we have been taught. When I take one step, God takes 2 steps. Well, I've taken 1 step. I've taken 2 steps. 4, 5, 6, many over my lifetime. I've taken many steps. I have yet to see any God do anything, nor have you. You can pretend all you want. There is no debate about God, whether God exists or not. Because clearly, any sane person can see that this God does not exist. And what a coward your God is. Hiding. It reminds me of y'all people on YouTube and Facebook. Hide your face behind an avatar. And this God don't even do that. Why you won't make your presence known? Because see, if you come out and say that you God, these people gonna try you. You say that you God, they're gonna shoot at you. They're gonna run you over with a train. You God, you can handle it. Where is this God? Make yourself known. I want there to be a God. I want this God to come and straighten this mess out right now. How are you going to make demands on God? I have the right to. If you call the police and the police don't come in appropriate time, you have the right to complain about the police. I'm in trouble. I need your help. I need the police. And you're going to show up an hour later. What kind of crap is that? You pray to God. That means you praying to God right now. I need your help. Right now. Not 2,000 years from now. And God is the only one y'all make all these excuses for. This pretend invisible being. Because you know God ain't going to do nothing. You wait for a cab. And when the cab comes, the cab is 5 minutes late. You want to have a problem with the cab driver because he's late. 15 minutes late. However, God has been late. God has not done nothing for thousands of years, and you justify it's all right. God does it in his own sweet time. I need a cab now. We need God now. We don't need God 2,000 years from now. The bottom line, y'all need to really get rid of these fantasy things in your mind. Not only about God, but many other things about how our ancestors lived and all this manufactured delusional fantasy stuff that you done came up with. Get that out of your mind. Clean your mind up so your brain can work. Your brain is not working, brothers and sisters. That's why many of you don't understand me, because your brain, and you won't allow your brain to work, because you cloud your mind with all this stuff that's confusing and delusional, and it's not real.
So Meatball went to the hospital. And like one of those people on those 80s TV show, Good Times comes to mind. When JJ, I think when he got shot, and then there was another time when he got sick. You know how it is on those shows. They have you milking, loving the attention, because you know that shit happens in real life for people. They go to the hospital. They're like, damn, everybody's so fucking nice. They're buying me things. They're giving me food. They're waiting on me hand and foot. You don't realize, well, you know, the hospital, they doing that because they get paid. But your family starts buying you stuff, you start feeling good. And you're like, damn, I want to keep this up. So that's why they make those TV shows based on those scenarios. So that's what this Meatball was doing. You know, oh, woe is me. I almost died. You know, I mean, it's been like 5 months or some shit like that now. He's still saying, donate to my campaign. Woe is me. Still wearing a fucking hospital bracelet. I'm like, man, come on. This is crazy. And this is the guy who said, I don't take donations. And I'm talking about him because he's a hypocrite in this regard. I don't take donations. I don't ask for donations. But yet he not only started asking, he was begging. And on a video before that, when we had that other little skirmish, I showed and proved that the man was asking for donations when he was with that big time woman. And they were pulling a scam. Straight up scam. So that did not work out. He wasn't thinking about Mississippi then. He was thinking about getting paid. So he went to the hospital, started milking his woe is me. I'm hurt, I could have died. Give me money, pay my bills. Some videos he'll say, all my bills are taken care of. I got gun insurance. Then in the next video, yeah, donate to my hospital fund, my bills. I mean, which is it, man? Do you have great insurance and everything is paid up? Or do you need money? I mean, come on. Sounds like a scheme. But then I saw another video of his with his Phantom Mississippi campaign, which is not going anywhere. That's why he got mad at me, because I still it's the same thing with all these people that scam. You ask them one, it doesn't take 3 questions. You just ask them one key question. And it's enough to make them piss the hell off. I just asked him a simple question. When do you go into Mississippi? That's enough to piss him off. It's that simple. You can't have a Mississippi campaign without going to Mississippi. You can't get around it. Then, after that, he kept asking for donations for the Mississippi campaign. And I see this video. He's talking about, I need pledges for money so I could put up billboards for the Mississippi campaign. And in Mississippi, mind you. This man wants people to go to Mississippi to take over the state. Remember, I used to say take over the state. He used to get upset. Oh, I ain't talking about taking over nothing. It's not a takeover. We're taking control. And he says the difference between saying taking control and taking over is one seems more hostile. Either way you put it, it's hostility when you say, I'm taking control. Like somebody came in your house and they say, hey, everybody in the basement, I'm taking control of the house. Or if they came in and said, everybody in the basement, I'm taking over your house. Well, I mean, what's the difference? Taking over, taking control, it's the same thing. So then he says, I want pledges that you'll pay, donate money. See, that's another, he comes from the Nation of Islam, so that's another trick where they try to pressure people into doing things so that their word will be their bond. So that way, if you start pledging that you'll give an X amount of dollars, then when he asks for it, he expects to get it. But I thought this was supposed to be a silent operation. An operation where you just go in, start motivating, start doing your thing. But he said he was supposed to influence the people. Now you want billboards. See, to me, in Mississippi, why would you want billboards to say, let's go to Mississippi, to people who are already in Mississippi? That's a waste of money, a waste of time, and it's idiotic. Now, billboards, that's more fluff. You know, it's like people say with the Umar Johnson thing. Some people say, well, he just got to school just so he can get more money. Well, maybe, maybe not. One thing for sure, putting up billboards is just to act like you're making some progress when you know that you personally already are on the record of saying that you're not going to Mississippi. I don't have to go to Mississippi. And you're not going. So with that being on the record, what are billboards supposed to do? I see it's supposed to make people think that you're doing something. Like Jason Black. Some people defend his billboards, which are a waste of goddamn money. And he acts like he accomplished something because he paid for a billboard. That does nothing. If all you're doing is putting out propaganda with nothing behind it, it's got to be for a money grab. Well, the bullshit the population, because there's no other reason for it without taking some kind of action. I noticed the two, I don't want to say bozos, but, you know, the people that used to ride with them, I noticed even they said, man, this guy's full of shit. Tired of this guy. People are going to realize it after a while, so he brings in two other people he's trying to con. And after a while, they don't see it now, but after a while, they'll say, you know what, this guy sounded good, but truth be told, this guy is talking in circles, and he's not really going to do anything. This guy's full of shit. He contradicted himself. He stepped over his own words. The people will see this soon, but I'm not doing anything to, you know, get in the way of that. I'm going to just let them see it on their own, because that's how most people operate. You got to wait and learn for yourselves. I try to tell people ahead of the game so that you can not waste your time, but you know how it is. When some people sound good, you know, it is what it is. But these things, these charlatans combined with these people with these fake agendas and fake ideologies, they're all designed to do nothing but suck the money out of your pockets. Damn. That's all it's designed to do. Suck the money out of your damn pockets. They keep putting all these Hispanics in out here, man. I mean, damn, after a while,